brightening the future of both village and city. Millions of rupees for the development of the nation, strengthening the agri-heart of the nation, prospering lives, ensuring safety. Presenting the highest cash award, strengthening the nation, Mahajana Sampatha, ensuring prosperity. Mahajana Sampatha from the National Lotteries Board.
Receive the highest value and unmatched security for the remittance sent by your loved ones abroad from People's Bank. Get extra 10 rupees for every dollar and receive a refund of transaction fees up to rupees 1,000 when depositing funds to a rupee account. Receive the highest value and unmatched security for the remittance sent by your loved ones abroad from People's Bank. Get extra 10 rupees for every dollar and receive a refund of transaction fees up to rupees 1,000 when depositing funds to a rupee account.
In a few moments, the news.
Receive the highest value and unmatched security for the remittance sent by your loved ones abroad from People's Bank.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(1:15). This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madavala, read by Soundi Thavam. The Foreign Minister says India and Sri Lanka have reached a high point in their relations. A special meeting will be conducted tomorrow regarding the ongoing health trade union action. President's Counsel U.R. De Silva says that anyone not abiding to the Essential Services Act can be arrested and brought to book. The COVID vaccination certification will be checked when implementing government servants' transfers. Satosa provides water bottles for the government institutions under a concessionary rate. 2 power plants with a capacity of 155 megawatts will be added to the national grid this year. Gold prices in the world market have declined. In foreign news, Ukraine's president condemns media reports over Russian invasion. In sports, the second T20 international match between Sri Lanka and Australia will commence in a short while. The president of the Health Service Trade Unions Confederation, Ravi Kumudesh, says that a special meeting will be held tomorrow regarding the ongoing trade union action. 17 health trade unions are on a strike these days. Speaking to the SLBC, he said he believes solutions can be found for the ongoing issues through discussions. The nurses have returned to normal duties after the court ruling, but other parties are still continuing the trade union action. The government has declared the health sector as an essential service. Continuing the strike action will lead to many difficulties, and innocent parties and victims will be the victims of their trade union action, including the patients. President's Counsel U.R. De Silva says that anyone not abiding to the Essential Services Act can be arrested and brought to book. Speaking to the Kannadiya program of the SLBC, he says that 2 to 5 years imprisonment can be given in this regard. In addition, fines can also be imposed. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has issued a Gazette notification declaring the supply of power, in-house patient care, nursing homes, dispensaries and other similar institutions, and all services, work or labour related to reception, care, nourishment and treatment as essential services. If anyone acts disregarding this gazette, a magistrate can confiscate his or her assets or expel the person from the government service. The Ministry of Public Administration has focused its attention to consider the COVID vaccination certification when implementing government servants' transfers. Accordingly, if any government employee transfers from one institution to another, they must be fully vaccinated. The relevant employee's transfer will not be effective until the employee is fully vaccinated. Satosa provides water bottles for the government institutions under a concessionary rate. The water bottles are manufactured by the Ministry of Trade under the Satosa label. The Trade Ministry requests the consumers to return the empty bottle and get a 10 rupee discount per bottle on the next purchase. A 400 milliliter water bottle, which is priced at 35 rupees, will be provided for the government institution for 29 rupees. If they return the empty bottle, Satosa will refund 10 rupees back to the relevant institution. The Secretary to the Ministry of Trade, Mrs. Badrani Javadana, says that the actual cost for a water bottle would be 19 rupees. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get extra 10 rupees for every dollar and receive a refund of transaction fees up to rupees 1,000 when depositing funds to a rupee account from People's Bank.
The Sustainable Energy Authority says that 2 power plants with a capacity of 155 megawatts will be added to the national grid this year. At present, the Uma, Oya and Broadland power plants with a capacity of 120 and 25 megawatts is now being constructed. The Director General of the authority, Sulakshana Jayawardena, says that several small hydropower plants constructed in many areas will be opened this year. The Health Minister says that another 1,162 persons have tested positive for the COVID-19 yesterday, as the daily count of new cases continues to rise in the country. This brings the total tally of COVID-19 cases registered in the country thus far to 626,966. Following the new cases, the number of virus-infected people who are undergoing treatment moved to 16,451. Meanwhile, the death toll stands at 15,777. That concludes local news.
Get extra 10 rupees for every dollar and receive a refund of transaction fees up to rupees 1,000 when depositing funds to a rupee account from People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Foreign Minister J.L. Peiris said India and Sri Lanka have reached a high point in their relations and that concerns about the Chinese peasants in his country had been consigned to the past. He made these comments at an interview to the Indian Express. The Foreign Minister, who was in Delhi from February 6th to the 8th, said the fishermen's issue, Indian fishermen trespassing in Sri Lankan waters and being arrested, was now a serious flashpoint in ties with India. He also blamed the Tamil National Alliance for the hiatus in the implementation of the 13th Amendment because of its support to the previous Maithripala Sirisena government's decision to change electoral laws. That came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, pedestrians complain that almost all road diggings executed for various reasons have not been repaired up to the standards. Many of those road damages have not been repaired even to a safe level. Those road diggings have created potholes and led to possible severe accidents as well. Telecommunications, electricity and water services providing companies mainly damage roads for their expansion and distribution purposes. After the process, the companies or the third-party contractors do not repair the roads properly. This is for the attention of the authorities to look into this matter and came to you in Watchlight. On to a bulletin of world news making headlines. Ukraine's president condemns media reports over Russian invasion. The police launched bid to clear Canada truck blockade in Ambassador Bridge. And hundreds fined and dozens arrested as COVID protest convoy enters Paris. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemns media reports over Russian invasion. He said that if Western powers had any firm evidence of an impending Russian invasion, he had yet to see it. He added that he thinks there is too much information in the media about a deep, full-scale war. The Ukrainian president went on to say that, quote, "We understand all the risks. We understand that they exist. If you or someone else has additional 100% reliable information about the Russian Federation's invasion of Ukraine, please share it with us," unquote, he added. More than a dozen countries have urged their citizens to leave Ukraine amid warnings from Western powers that an invasion by Russia could be imminent. The US, UK and Germany are among those who have told their nationals to leave. Moscow has amassed an estimated 100,000 troops along Ukraine's border but denies any intent to invade. The police have started to clear a blockade of the main crossing between Canada and the United States. After days of protests by truckers against COVID rules at the Ambassador Bridge in Ontario, officers urged them to heed an injunction against the demonstration. The vital trade route links Windsor, Ontario with Detroit, Michigan. Truckers' protests against COVID vaccine mandates are also ongoing at other border crossings and in Ottawa. The self-styled Freedom Convoy movement was started by Canadian truckers opposed to a vaccine or quarantine order for drivers crossing the border. The police have intercepted hundreds of vehicles trying to enter Paris as part of a protest against France's coronavirus regulations. Tear gas was fired in the city as demonstrators defied an order banning the Freedom Convoy. Interior Minister Gerard Darmadin said more than 300 tickets had been handed out and 54 people arrested. Authorities have deployed more than 7,000 officers over the next 3 days in a bid to stop the demonstrators. Despite those efforts, some vehicles managed to arrive in the city and tear gas was fired at demonstrators on the nearby streets. Back to the headlines of the world news. Ukraine's president condemns media reports over Russian invasion. The police launched bid to clear Canada trucker blockade in Ambassador Bridge. And hundreds fined and dozens arrested as COVID protest convoy enters Paris. That concludes this bulletin of world news.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Well-known Sri Lankan racing driver Dilantha Malagamu said that his second dream is to help Sri Lanka manufacture its first vehicle in the near future. He was addressing the media at a ceremony to sign an MOU between Sri Lanka's leading trailer manufacturer and exporter Tantri Trailers and the Vocational Training Authority of Sri Lanka to employ students following welding courses at the VTASL. He was also awarded the Most Popular Player of the Year title at the first Sports Platinum Awards in 2016. That's Development News, Sports News up next.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928. Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
In cricket news first, the second T20 international match between Sri Lanka and Australia will commence in a short while. The match is scheduled to commence at 1:40 p.m. Sri Lanka time in Sydney. Australia won the match by 20 runs. India's Ishan Kishan was the most expensive player bought on day one of the Indian Premier League auction. The 23-year-old wicket-keeper batter was bought back by Mumbai Indians for $2 million, making him the second most expensive Indian player in IPL history after former all-rounder Yuvraj Singh. On to soccer news, Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel dedicated his side's first Club World Cup triumph to owner Roman Abramovich after an extra-time win against Brazilian side Palmeiras. A 117th minute penalty in Abu Dhabi by Kai Havertz was also scored. Their 2021 Champions League winner means the Blues have now won every possible trophy under the ownership of the Russian billionaire Romelu Lukaku, opening the scoring with a header in the second half before Rafael Veiga levelled from the spot. Palmeiras defender Luan was sent off in added time as the Blues sealed victory. On to Winter Olympics, Russian teenage figure skater Kamila Valieva was training in Beijing on Sunday as she awaits her Winter Olympics fate. The 15-year-old who failed a drugs test in December will hear on Monday if she can compete in the individual event in Beijing and if she is being stripped of team gold. That's sports news, business news up next.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Gold prices slipped on Friday on a stronger-than-expected U.S. inflation reading, and hawkish comments from a Federal Reserve official ramped up odds for a hefty interest rate hike next month, sending Treasury yields higher. Spot gold fell 0.1% to $1,825.29 per ounce, by 1:41 GMT, while US gold's futures dropped 0.7% to $1,824.5 US. US consumer prices rose solidly in January, leading to the biggest annual increase in inflation in 40 years, fueling speculation for a 50 basis point rate hike from the Fed next month. That's business news. Economic news up next.
Business news, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB You Trust.
On to economic news, oil prices could soar to $120 a barrel if Russia's crude exports are derailed by tensions with Ukraine, according to projections from JP Morgan. The forecast underscores how a potential invasion of Ukraine would cause wide-ranging ripple effects that would be felt by inflation-weary consumers around the world. On to the weather report to conclude. Cloudy skies will prevail over the northern, north central and eastern provinces. Showers will occur at times in the northern, north central, eastern and Uva provinces and in the Hambantota, Nuwara and Matale districts. Heavy showers about 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the north central and eastern provinces and the Matale district. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere during the evening or night. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabragamo and western provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The foreign minister says India and Sri Lanka have reached a high point in their relations. A special meeting will be conducted tomorrow regarding the ongoing health trade union action. President's Counsel UR De Silva says that anyone not abiding to the Essential Services Act can be arrested and brought to book. The COVID vaccination certification will be checked when implementing government servants' transfers. Satosa provides water bottles for the government institutions under a concessionary rate. 2 power plants with a capacity of 155 megawatts will be added to the national grid this year. Gold prices in the world market have declined. Ukraine's president condemns media reports over Russian invasion. And the second T20 international match between Sri Lanka and Australia will commence in a short while. That concludes this afternoon's news broadcast, and now it's back to your host, Niranjana Besundara, to take you through the afternoon and keep you entertained.